What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. Just watched the Leeds versus Brisbane Raw game. Got my computer next to me with my lineups. Wasn't going to do a video, but I thought, why not put something out? If you hear a baby in the background, it is nearly bedtime for us. So you may hear sort of a baby getting ready for bed. But look, I'm just going to chat about the lineup. I'm just going to go through each player and sort of give my opinion. I'll try not to be too harsh. Obviously, it's just pre-season against Brisbane Raw. Nothing special. They're up for it. We didn't seem as up for it. But there was a few good points. There was a few disappointing points, I would say. But like I said, please don't get too harsh on me. I'm not trying to be harsh or trying not to be, glass half full, anything like whatever you want to call it, or negative. I'm not being negative. I'm just giving you my opinion about the performance. So I only have the starting lineup, which I'll go through, and then I'll chat about the second half because I remember that a bit better with the players and who was in there. Obviously, first of all, we won 2-1. Goals from Dan James, and then 2 minutes later, Gelhardt. Dan James was a great finish near post. Gelhardt, great header, beat his defender in the air. And then we conceded a goal. Deflected. Happens, bounced to their player, and he finished it. Young lad, actually from not far away from where I live, on a trial, so hopefully he gets offered a contract from that. He was a young boy from a team called Oakley Cannons, who are only maybe half an hour drive from my house. So yeah, hopefully he does well and gets himself a little contract. That'd be nice. But we'll get straight into it. So first of all, Clarkson in goals. I don't think you can really say he was at fault for the goal. He dived thinking he was going to go top corner. He did well to get back up and try to save it, but he didn't. Looked okay in the air. He's obviously well off it compared to Melier, but I thought it was okay. He made a couple of good saves. Was probably unlucky towards the end. Almost conceded again right at the end. But it was okay. Look, he's not going to be starting as a keeper this year for us, maybe in the Cups, but overall, I think it is his chance to really sort of show what he can do, and it was okay. I think he was solid enough, nothing special. Robin Koch, I thought, played really well. A few wayward balls to the middle of the park. At times, he tried to force it a little bit, but I thought he was good defensively. Thought he nearly broke his neck at one point, jumping over the back of the defender, but their winger. But yeah, I thought he played well, and I'd say that he's made a good claim to why he should start come start the season. Same with Stroik. I thought Stroik was really good. Looked like he lacked pace at times, but I think he... Obviously, this is pre-season where they're not fit, so please take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt. It's just my opinion on the game and the game itself. I'd say he played all right. I thought he looked a bit slow at times, but he did have to cover for a certain player, which we'll get into in the second half. That was on the second half. We'll get onto him though. Which brings the point which we knew we needed a left back, but holy shit, do we need a left back? Yeah, so I thought Stroik was all right. We looked really defensively quite solid. They had a couple of attacks where Christensen snuffed out a couple of balls that were moving on to Christensen. I thought Christensen was really, really good defensively. I thought he was fantastic. Passing was a bit wayward. I think that he tried to play a couple of hero balls at the start. A couple of balls in the middle weren't great. But he worked his way into the game. So I was quite impressed by Christensen. Thought he played quite well. Yeah, he was solid. Niggly bastard. He got stuck into a couple of players and had a little push on somebody. He let a few players know. So I think he's gonna be one of those proper Leeds players. But yeah, played well. Defensively fantastic. Well, like I said, I think he going forward, it wasn't as good, but it's pre-season. So like I said, not getting too stuck in. Next up was Jack Harrison. Thought he played fantastic. A couple of his crosses in weren't great, but I thought he worked back defensively okay. I think there's a couple of times he got beat by his man, but overall he was pretty good. Got on the ball, played it around, kept the ball moving. And I thought he played pretty well overall. I was pretty happy with him. It was sort of like a 3-4-3 formation, I guess, in a way. And he played out as a wing back or a left back, which I said he was going to play left back. Or that sort of wing-back role, and there's been a few content creators that said that he wouldn't, and I think he can play there, and I don't see why not, because defensively is good. His only problem is going forward. He's going to want to go forward a lot, so he may leave centre-half, so he's left centre-back in lurch a little bit, but I thought he was decent against the Brisbane Roar side. Mark Rocker, I thought was fantastic. I thought he played some good balls. I think he was his tackling was great. He was a real metronome, getting hold of the ball, playing it around, getting the ball moving, was getting on the ball and was steady. So I thought he was great. I thought he played really, really well. Forshaw, I thought Forshaw, the game was solid. He didn't really do a lot. He won the ball back a couple of times. He was okay. Nothing special. I think Forshaw's not going to start this year. And but he was okay. A good run out for him. But yeah, I don't think he's the go-to. I think this is a mixture. Who was next? Dan James. I thought Dan James was okay. I think he looked dangerous at times. But up until his goal, he came off pretty much straight, like in the 31st, I think he came off. He looked all right. Looked all right. Took his finish well. Don't know how much he meant it. As in, like, I don't know if that's something he can do all the time. Hopefully, he does this year for us. I thought he was all right. He was okay. I wouldn't say he was fantastic. I'd say Jack Harrison played better. But he got his goal. He deserved his goal. Was a good finish. So, decent game from Dan James. Rodrigo. Now, I was not happy with Rodrigo's performance. I thought he lost the ball a fair bit. I thought he looked a bit lackluster against the Brisbane Roar side. He should be taking the piss out of for his stature of player. Again, don't want to sound like I've had to think before I make this video because I didn't want to sound too negative, but I just didn't think Rodrigo was up to it. And I don't know how up to it he's going to be this year. He just didn't look fantastic. But hey, reserve judgment because he'll play again against Aston Villa on Sunday. So he was underwhelming for me, if I'm honest with you. And again, I'll reiterate, let me know in the comments below what you thought of each player. If you want to make out a little paragraph, if you want to talk about a couple of players, just let me know what your thoughts were. Joe Gelhardt, I thought was decent. I thought he got on the ball. I thought he lost it a couple of times, but he got on the ball. He looked like he wanted to do something, make something happen. I thought he took his goal really well. Compared to Bamford, I know Bamford's been out, and we'll get on to him in a minute, but I thought he tried to get on the ball a bit more than Bamford did. But yeah, overall decent. Took his goal well, looked all right. I think there's a couple of times he should have hit it, but they looked to play it around. The one thing I'll say is I like the fact that we're trying to whip the ball in first time. We're trying to get the ball, cut it across the 18-yard box into that penalty spot, and we're trying to play it early rather than working all the way to the byline and trying to cut it back. Which we did last year under Bielsa, but yeah, trying to play that through ball first time, and there was hints of it, but I would also say that it wasn't coming off as well as it was against Blackpool. I wouldn't say Brisbane Roar particularly better than Blackpool. I would say they were probably up for a bit more. I'd say the A-League is probably the level of a League One sort of side. I'd say a top A-League side is probably like a championship side maybe. But I say that's the sort of level. And last off, Aronson. I thought Aronson was really, really good. I thought he got on the ball. He looked to get on the ball. He looked energetic. He was good on the ball, played it around, won the ball back. I thought he was pretty good. So I was pretty happy with Aronson. Overall, happy with the first 11. I thought it was pretty decent. It was 2-0 until the 40th when we conceded, but it was pretty unlucky, and they had a couple of attacks that were snuffed out by Christensen, which was, his position was great, but the one goal that happened, it is what it is. They really sat back with every man in the box. We looked like we struggled to break it down at times. And that's right, Sinistera came on at the end. Sinistera's first half was really, really good. He wanted to get on the ball. Looked him and Jack Harrison looked really, really good. Like they were trying to play the ball around, looking pretty nifty. He dropped off in the second half at the start and sort of struggled to get back in the game. But that was probably the tail of the second half. We were not good in the second half at all. All the changes were made. I can't remember all of them, but there was a couple that stood out. Lorente came on, didn't look great. Tried to play these balls to the middle. Didn't get his head on a header at the end that he should have been put in the back of the net. I thought Lorente was not great. Stroik played all the whole second half. He was okay. A couple of times he got beat by his man by the winger on the right, Lundhaus, and the other one was Ivanovic. I think it's because Leif Davis got torn a new asshole, for lack of a better word. Leif Davis was really poor. He went forward okay, kept doing the same cutback pass in the middle with barely anything on it. So it was just sort of P-rolled it into the middle, put the bloke under a bit of pressure. Yeah, Leif Davis is not the guy. We can keep him here as a backup to whoever we bring in, but we need to sign somebody. We need to sign a left back. Charlie Taylor's who I would go for, or anyone. Just get a left back in because we need number one competition for Firpo. And from what I saw from Leif Davis, he would get torn apart in the Premier League. So not happy with his performance. Don't think he'll get better. I can't see him doing well enough to get into that first team in game week 1. So maybe a loan. He struggled to do well. I think it was Bournemouth he was at. I think that's his time done. Though we're looking to move him on anyway. So yeah. Right back was the big man Cody Drame, Mr. Cardiff himself. He showed why he got torn apart at Arsenal. He again got torn apart defensively, absolutely torn apart. That Ivanovic had his number for pace. He was caught on the wrong side of his man multiple times. Then that Lofthouse or whatever his name was, Lundhouse, he went and tore. He then switched wings to give him a second tearing. Yeah, Drame was not good. Christensen wouldn't have given, even physically, he just, if a guy's going to beat you for pace, at least be physical, and that's how you beat him physically. Not great at all. But look, Christensen plays there anyway, so he looked a lot better defensively than Cody Drame. So not a great start, but again, it's only the first game. I'm not going to get too stuck into him. Obviously, I'm again. I'll say this because I know what Leeds sports can be like. I'm purely talking about just this game, nothing else. They'll get to play other games. I'm sure they'll be fantastic. They'll all become Leeds United legends. And then into the middle of the park was Click. Click was awful. He was dicking around the ball, played some balls forward that were just crap, looked lethargic, looked like the old Click as usual. Wasn't happy with that. Guy Abbey, he looked okay. He's only young. It's his first game. But he looked all right, made some good tackles, was okay on the ball at times. I'd say he was okay. He's not going to play much this year, so I think he's a good acquisition and could be a good future player. For Leeds, so I've got nothing really to comment on him about that one. Tyler Adams, I don't really know what to think about that. He didn't look great, and again, it's his first hit out, so it is what it is. It's preseason, blah, 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 blah. Didn't look great, even defensively. Won the ball back a few times, was caught the wrong side of his man. Wasn't a great showing to start off with, but I'll reserve any thoughts on him and for a little. I'll give him some more time because he's a bit of a bigger money move. I thought Click was worse than Tyler Adams anyway. I thought Click was horrible. Didn't try to do anything. Somerville did okay. I would say he tried to beat his man, looked weak. I don't know if there's much room for Somerville except for maybe as an impact sub. And that's probably about it, if I'm honest with you. Hasn't really kicked on like he should. But maybe watch him in some other games and see how he does against Villa and Palace, maybe. On the left wing was Somerville, and then I can't remember. It's escaping me. I can't remember. It was on the left wing. Sinistero was for a bit. Yeah, he didn't play well in the second half, but he looked dangerous at points and looked lively in the first half. So I'll forgive the second half. I can't remember who was left wing in the second half, if I'm honest with you. So I'll skip it. Sorry if I forget who it was. It's just I just cannot remember. Gelhardt came off for Bamford pretty early on in the second half. Bamford looked. I don't want to sound too harsh on him because he's been out for such a long time. Didn't look great on the ball. He had 2 good efforts. One was a bit of a P-roll, but it was good control, turn hit. Had the keeper working. The other was a good header that I should have gone in. I'll say Stroik also had a couple that he probably should have got on target from headers, from crosses. I know who the other player is now, actually. I'll get on to him. Yeah, look, Bamford, it's first game back. He's got plenty of leeway and money and money in the bank with me. So, wasn't fantastic. Had a couple of efforts. Thought he was struggling a bit. Was definitely lacking the hasn't, you can tell he hasn't played for a while. So, we'll watch him against Villa and see how he goes. Villa and Palace. Other one was Sam Greenwood. Now, this is I think Greenwood might be in the plans for Jesse Marsh, but I thought he was pretty average today. Didn't really look like he was going to do anything on the ball. Didn't look like he was going to attack as much as what I thought he would. So, yeah, like I said, second half was really, really poor, and Brisbane Raw made us look pretty average, and now all the Australian pundits are saying how good Brisbane Raw are going to be, but I think we made them look like that. I wasn't happy with that second half at all. But it's preseason, so like I said, I'm not going to get onto them too much. And obviously, again, please don't get on me in the comments. Like I said, this is all my just an opinion on the singular game, just on that performance. I'm not saying that they're not going to turn out to be Leeds legends, but happy with all the signings so far. Thought Tyler Adams was a bit anticlimactic, but Aronson was fantastic. Rocker was fantastic. I thought Christian was good defensively, but needs to work on going forward. Who else are we missing there? Yeah, and that's basically it. Sinistera was okay. It looked good in the first half, was poor in the second, so he was okay. But again, he's only just landed. And caveat, jet lag. So, yeah, just the first hit out in Australia. We'll see how they go and at Aston Villa on Sunday, which I'll be at the game. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the game. Try not to be too harsh. We won 2-1 in the end. I would have been really annoyed if that goal went in the end. It went to penalties because guarantee we lose on penalties, and then I'd be just annoyed. But even if we lost to Villa on Sunday, I'm still going to enjoy the experience and not read too much into it. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts were in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you tomorrow in a bit of a transfer update video. Peace.